Hi everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and overview of this small form factor computer case from SilverStone's Sugo series. Now the specific model of this case is the Sg0 and there's actually several different versions of the Sg0 available, but I'll come back to that in just a sec. This is the new version that has USB 3.0 integrated. It's also got 82 millimeters of height for your CPU cooling. It's also got an elevated standoffs for the motherboard, a 120 millimeter fan that's an intake which creates positive pressure for cooling, supports 2.5 inch and 3.5 inch hard drives, supports primarily Mini-ITX but also Mini-DTX motherboards, also the SFX power supply standard. Now several of the models do come with a power supply pre-installed. This one for example has a 450 watt, but you can also swap out for different SFX power supply if you prefer. The power supply that's included here is 80+ certified, and you also have a standard length expansion card support, which means that you can fit a 2-slot video card of up to 10 inches in length in this computer case. Now I mentioned there's some different models, and here's also just sort of the dirty specs for this entire case, but we have the SST Sg0 which is black with 300 watt, SST Sg0 which is white, SST Sg0 450 black with a black interior and a 450 watt power supply, which is the one that we're looking at today. Plastic front bezel, 6mm SECC steel body construction. Here's all the other specs if you want to read those off. I'm going to go ahead and get this case out of the box. I'm actually going to start off with accessories here, so let's start. First off, you have this plastic piece, which I wasn't sure what it was at first, and then I realized this actually is the same piece that goes on the front of the case right here. So you'll notice the existing one has a SilverStone logo, but you can swap that out if you're a system builder, I guess. You could put your own logo on there, or your own branded case badge, and swap that out. So you have that option. You also have the Sugo series Sg0 Manual, which of course will show you the case details, as well as basic installation procedures for opening up the case and installing your hardware. You of course have an AC adapter cable, and that is for the included 450 watt power supply. This case does have an internal 19-20-pin USB 3.0 header, and if you happen to have a motherboard that does not have USB 3.0, you probably still have USB 2.0. You can plug that header into this adapter, plug this into a USB 2.0 header on your motherboard. That will allow you to use the front USB ports. It just means they'll run at USB 2.0 speeds instead of 3.0. You also have, of course, some case screws here for mounting your motherboard, as well as mounting other components inside the case. They've given you an adhesive cable tie-down, plastic cable tie-down that latches in, so you can use that to help with your cable management, which is always important in a size-limited case like this. Finally, they have some rubber stoppers here, and these have adhesive on the back. These are your feet, and I'm actually going to stick these on right now before I go over the case in detail. Here's a closer look at the Sg0. We're looking at the front right now, of course, and at the top you can see you have a single optical drive bay. This accepts slim optical drives, so bear that in mind. Slim optical drives are typically meant for use in notebook computers. They are a bit more affordable these days, so you can purchase one, but double check, because sometimes you do need a special connector for the back of your slim optical drive to adapt it to the standard serial ATA and power connectors, so keep that in mind. Over here on the right side, you have some front connectivity. So you have the two USB 3.0 ports. Again, that does feed back to an internal 20-pin USB 3.0 header. You also have a microphone and headphone connector, standard 1/8-inch analog connectors for those. You have a hard drive activity light. You also have a reset button right there and your power button on the front. And then right here is the grill for your front 120 millimeter intake fan. This is the sole intake fan on this chassis. I'm going to flip around here to the side here so you can see they do have some ventilation on either side. There's a bit shorter area here, and then around on the other side here they have full length grilling, and this is where your video card most likely would be, so you have plenty of airflow intake for your video card. Also, if you do have a video card installed right here, depending on the style of cooler it uses, you can get dedicated airflow for that. So a blower style video card with the fan that spins down on this end and injects air out this side works great. You can also use a open air style cooler. Either one would work just fine, but you do have, again, grilling there for dedicated airflow. Slipping around here to the back, we can see that you do have dual slot PCI expansion. So most Mini-ITX motherboards will have a single PCI, usually 16-speed slot right there at the back, so that would feed to a single slot card. If you do get a dual slot card, you have a little bit of overhang here. Just make sure you secure it at the top, and then you can support dual slot cards, which is most higher-end video cards, so it gives you some great options for doing a small portable gaming machine. Here's the back end of the included 450 watt power supply. As you can see, it is 80 plus bronze certified, so it's a nice efficient power supply from SilverStone. And then here is your knockout for your motherboard inputs and outputs. Here's a look at the top of the case. As you can see, there's just some more cutouts there for ventilation. So primarily you'd have exhaust from your computer system coming out there at the top. I should mention that apart from the 120mm fan at the front, you do also have a fan on the power supply, so that's actually going to be drawing air up, which will pull some air right off the area above your motherboard, and that will exhaust it out the back. So that's a nice little added bonus from the included power supply. Finally, here's a look at the bottom. Not a whole lot to show here, but you can see that I have attached the included rubber feet with their adhesive. There's no real guide to this, so you can sort of position them wherever you want. Next, we're going to take a look at the interior of the case, and both side panels and the top panel all are in one piece right here, so that just pops off. It's held on by 4 Phillips head screws. And now we're going to take a look at the interior, and I'm also going to sort of take apart the drive assembly area to show you guys how those mount. This is the power supply at the top. Again, SFX form factor. The actual model on this power supply we have is SST ST45SF. So, in case you were wondering, here is the bundle of power supply cables that has a nice little Velcro strap to keep them tidy. So here we have a 20 plus 4-pin main motherboard power connector. We also have a PCI Express power connector. So this actually gives you a 6-pin and a 6 plus 2-pin. So plenty of juice there for a discrete graphics card if you're going to be going with that type of build. You also have a 4-pin or 8-pin supplemental CPU power connector right there, so we'll accommodate either one. We also have some peripheral cables. Oopsie. Peripheral cables being 3 serial ATA, 2 Molex, and a single floppy connector. So for the amount of space in this case, you should have plenty of power connectors for whatever your needs might be. Also nice to note that these cables are sleeved for the most part, which is a nice touch. Kind of goes along with the interior of the case, which again is, this is the painted black interior version that we have. So as you can see, nice clean paint job there on the inside. I'm going to flip it around to the opposite side so we can look at the rest of the internal connectors. Here they are. So you have one 3-pin plug here, and that's for the included front 120mm fan, which you can see right back there. It also has a nice grill on the inside to keep it protected and keep cables from bouncing up against the blades. It's a full-size fan too, so it should give plenty of airflow. Again, positive pressure inside the case means that any heat is going to be ejected out the sides and out the back. You also have HD audio connector right there, so that will enable your front panel mic and headphone jacks. You have your front panel power resets and LED buttons, or LED headers right there for the pinouts on your motherboard. And finally, again, 20-pin USB 3.0 connector, and then of course you can use the included adapter. If you don't have this type of header on your motherboard, you can adapt it to a USB 2.0 header. Next up, I'm going to go into these parts, which are right up here. So looking from the top, that is the mounting point for your slim optical drive. Looking from the side here, you can see there's a cage. The cage will actually support a 3.5-inch and a 2.5-inch hard drive. To give you guys a better idea of how that works, I'm going to take it apart. So here's a look at the drive cage assembly for your optical drive as well as your hard drives or solid-state drives. First off, there are 2 screws on the side right here, as well as 4 more up on top, 2 on this side, 2 on the opposite side. I've already removed all the screws. This cage slides out from the side like so. It's just got some metal tabs which lock into the part of the cage that's directly above it. This is essentially just your 3.5-inch drive cage, so pretty standard 3.5-inch drive mounting solution. And then once that's removed, you can pop out this top part of the cage. So on the top here is your optical drive mount, and on the bottom is sort of a narrower area where you actually have a 2.5-inch drive mount. So if you kind of look from the side right there, you can see those little tabs hanging down. You can slot in a 2.5-inch drive right there, mount it from either side, keep it nice and secure. And then I do happen to have an optical drive right here, a slim optical drive I should say, and that simply slots in just like that. And then they've included some teeny tiny screws which you use to mount that from either side, of course once you've lined it up with the front bezel of the computer case. And that's going to wrap it up for this video, everyone. Once again, this has been the SilverStone Sugo Sg0 small form factor computer case. I'm Paul with Newegg TV. If you enjoyed today's video, you can head over to our Newegg YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more tech videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.